Once again, we are pleased this week to be joined on the sidelines by Rod Mackey. Rod, beautiful new stadium.
Yeah, Ron, it still has that new stadium smell to it. You could call this the Field of Dreams. Many around here call it the Field of Jeans. $1.3 billion to build this place. Most expensive stadium ever built in the NFL. It's also environmentally friendly. It's the first stadium ever with a green roof and solar panels. It's a lot warmer here than down by the bay, 43 miles away from Candlestick Park, and the fans here love it. It's very fan-friendly as well. They've got all kinds of mobile apps in the stands. In fact, in those seats, it's sort of like being on your own couch. You can look at replays. You can look at stats. You can order food and drinks. Pretty fancy place here. In fact, this will also host Super Bowl 50. That'll be in 2016 is when that Super Bowl will be. There's also going to be an outdoor hockey game played here between the Sharks and the Kings, and WrestleMania as well. But right now we're all about preseason football. Game number 2 between the 49ers and the Broncos. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Rod, thanks. Alfred and I got here very early as you look at John Fox, and for about an hour we walked around the stadium, and we'll give you our take on it as the game goes on. But Alfred, first, tonight's keys to the game are brought to you by Auto Nation. What do you got?
Well, this team has to come out and play physical. That's option one. Play physical. That's what you can do. That's what you can control. Play physical. You have to come out and play with great intensity. You may not play a whole bunch of plays, but the plays that you get, you have to be intense. And then you also have to be a playmaker. If you want to make the roster, make a play. That'll give the coaches a reason to keep you around.
I think physical play is something that they have really kind of accentuated the entire camp, haven't they?
They have. They came out last weekend, Ron, and came out and basically goal line personnel to start that game off against the Seattle Seahawks. They wanted to go out there and show people that this is a different ball club with different intentions. And I think part of that intention is to go out and run the football. And I think that's what they're going to try to get to today.
Broncos will kick off today. Bruce Ellington, number 3, a rookie wide receiver, is deep for San Francisco. Mitch Ewald will do the kicking off, at least to start, for Matt Prater. Beautiful day, gorgeous, sun splashed here, just south of San Francisco as we're kicking off the debut of this new stadium as the Broncos playing their second preseason game of the 2014 season. Ewald's got the leg into it, and we are underway. It's the short man, number 49 for the Niners, out across the 20 to 25, and not all the way out to the 35 before he's taken down by Bradley Roby. 59-yard kick and a 29-yard return. There's Colin Kaepernick, the starter for San Francisco. Bradley Roby, by the way, will get the start for Kayvon Webster today. We'll get into that as we go.
Yeah, you look out there and you see this talented 49er group, and they're met equally with a talented Denver Bronco group that features new players. And Aqib Talib is out there starting, and that's always a good deal with DeMarcus Ware as well.
Will Tukuafu was the up man that brought that back. 1st and 10 from the 35. Kaepernick will throw on first down. And it's incomplete. He was looking for Michael Crabtree. Aqib Talib on the coverage. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. As we look at some of the key players for San Francisco, of course, Anquan Bolden, their great wide receiver, probably the best back in 49er history, arguably Frank Gore. Uapati leading their offensive line.
Yeah, that's a big physical guy. He gets downhill quickly, and he puts his body all over you. He's a talent.
2nd and 10 from the 35. It's the handoff right up the middle to Frank Gore. He's got some room across the 40 out to the 44. Raheem Moore made the stop, but it's a pickup of 9. It'll be 3rd and 1 for San Francisco. And the defense for the Broncos brought to you as well by Nationwide Insurance. DeMarcus Ware. Al and I got a chance to talk with him yesterday. What a difference he's going to make for this Bronco defense. Lorente McCray filling in for Von Miller. And, of course, one of the other new players, T.J. Ward. And that's enough for a first down. Frank Gore across the 45 to the 47. Brandon Marshall Playing for the injured Danny Trevathan, making the tackle, but it's a first down for San Francisco.
Yeah, San Francisco said that they weren't going to play Frank Gore, and I guess they said it's time to bring out Weapon X, and he got the start and looking really good out there. That offensive line is getting things done for the 49ers.
You'll see the rookie Carlos Hyde, their number 2 pick out of Ohio State, play plenty today, but Frank Gore gets the start. Kaepernick, quick drop, and he's got Bolden. Bolden across the Bronco 45 down to the 43. Talib made the first hit along with Lorente McCray.
Yeah, it's just an easy play. The quarterback sees an uncovered receiver, just stands up and throws the ball out there for an easy gain and a first down to go along with it. I think the Broncos right now getting into game mode. It's tough to get to a game and get right into it. I always wanted to get on defense after seeing the offense a little bit.
1st and 10 from the Bronco 43. It's the handoff to Carlos Hyde. He gets a couple yards. Talib made the first hit. Nate Irving finished him off, pickup of 2. Carlos Hyde had a pretty good game, his first game last week, his first NFL game. He had 5 carries, 38 yards.
A guy who averaged 7.3 yards a carry while at Ohio State. One of the better backs in the country last year, and the 49ers look like they know how to pick the running backs.
2nd down and 8 from the 41. You're going to see a lot of the first team offense and defense for Denver well into the second quarter.
As training camp goes, you get more work, and the second game of the year against a team like this is good work for this Denver Broncos football club.
Kaepernick throws it out. He's got his man inside the 40 to the 37. Nate Irving and McCray making the tackle.
That throwing motion by Colin Kaepernick is so weird. It's not like a traditional quarterback where he stands up tall. You can see the ball starts there, and then he goes sidearm a little bit to get the ball out there, but he has enough arm strength to get the ball over to the receiver.
Threw it to his fullback, Bruce Miller. 3rd down and 4 from the Denver 37. Denver in the nickel. Omar Bolden and David Bruton are in the game.
You mentioned something earlier. You said you made that check down throw to the fullback. How about this? The Broncos don't play with one of those.
Broncos don't have a fullback on the roster, as the 49ers will take a timeout.
First team timeout, San Francisco.
As the Broncos do not believe in the fullback, at least yet. 11:34 to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless. Game plan could help the Broncos tonight. Well, tell us all about it. 9 News is chatting live right now with Bronco fans on 9news.com and on Facebook. You can play trivia games, answer interactive polls, track the game with the best fan chat on the web. Log on to 9news.com now and get in the game. 49ers with a 3rd and 4 from the Denver 37. They have taken the opening kick, and they have held it.
All you want here is just to get off the field on 3rd down. That's a win if you're the defense.
Kaepernick going deep, and it's incomplete. He was looking for former Bronco Brandon Lloyd. And again, Aqib Talib, who's been challenged a lot on this first drive, rises to the occasion.
That's a win for the defense, but you're right. Aqib Talib is being challenged on this drive, where last week Seattle didn't take a shot towards him. That's a lot of confidence you have out there in Brandon Lloyd and Colin Kaepernick throwing against one of the best corners in all of football.
Phil Dawson, the veteran kicker, 16 years, came here as a free agent a year ago, will try a 55-yard field goal. It is up and it is wide to the right, no good. So the Denver defense holds on this first drive of the game.
That's one of those plays where you say, let's give the kicker a chance here, but you have to wonder if this was the regular season, would Harbaugh try a 55-yard field goal knowing that Peyton Manning is going to get the ball right around half field? I mean, that's not a great strategy.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're right. The answer is they would have tried to punt it down inside the 15.
Right, you want to make them go the distance that's required for a great quarterback to make great plays, which is the entire distance, not a short distance.
Peyton Manning brings him out. The only change in the starting lineup, Emmanuel Sanders is out again. Number 12, Andre Caldwell at the top of your screen. Starts on 1st and 10. The handoff to Ronnie Hillman. Not much there. He runs into the middle of that San Francisco line where Tony Girardetti makes the tackle. Tonight's starting lineups, again, brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. Key players tonight, as always, Ryan Clady, who's made a huge difference, Al, on the offensive line. Demaryius Thomas, and without Monte Ball, still getting over the appendectomy, Ronnie Hillman is your running back. Play action. Plenty of time, and the throw is incomplete. The intended receiver was Jacob Tammy. It'll bring up a 3rd and 8 from the Denver 47. And here's the Nationwide defensive players for San Francisco. Patrick Willis, one of the great linebackers in the NFL.
I think that he is now the standard bearer at the middle linebacker position since Ray Lewis is retired. This guy's excellent, and he is a playmaker. He gets downhill quickly.
3rd and 8 from the shotgun. Right up the middle, Manning throws complete for a first down to Wes Welker inside the 40 to the San Francisco 37. Jimmy Ward, the free safety, making the tackle, a first down for Denver.
That's Peyton Manning right there, and that's all Peyton Manning. Looks over the field and throws that ball in there. Now, if this was 2 years ago, I don't know if Peyton Manning could make that throw on time, on target, the way that that ball came out of his hand. But right now, he is stronger than ever, and he's looking fantastic this entire preseason.
It's a pickup of 15 and a first down for Denver at the San Francisco 38. Here's the handoff to Hillman. Cuts inside a block and gets to about the 35. Parrish Cox, the former Bronco, making the tackle, a pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 from the San Francisco 35.
Ronnie Hillman's a different player this year. At 200 pounds now, this is the heaviest he's ever been this far into camp. And you can see right there, he says he really doesn't like bouncing the ball outside, which kind of surprised me. He'd prefer to stay right off tackle, but somewhere between that tackle guard area is where he likes to run the football.
2nd and 7. That's a quick pass to Demaryius Thomas, but he can't get past Parrish Cox. It's a short pickup of about 3. It'll set up a 3rd and 4. Yeah, Ronnie Hillman told us last night, you asked him, where do you like to run? And he said, wherever the hole is.
You know, every running back, Ron, has a certain guard that they like to run behind, but he wouldn't tell me which one of those guards that he likes to run behind. So he said, I'll run the daylight.
Yeah, very politically correct. Manning 3 of 3 on this first drive. He's got a 3rd and 3 from the 31. It's the delay to Demaryius Thomas. He gets inside the 10 for a Denver first down. They'll mark it just outside the 10. Jimmy Ward, again, the free safety, made the tackle, but that's 2 quick completions for Demaryius Thomas, picking up where he left off after a gain of 17.
And what you can say there is that this offensive line is holding up against a great San Francisco rush unit. And right there, Peyton Manning has time to scan the entire field before coming back to Demaryius Thomas on the underneath drag.
Beautiful little drag route to Thomas. 1st and 10 from the 11. Thomas and C.J. Anderson to the left. Manning looking for Thomas again. Short gain, maybe a yard or 2. Antoine Bethea, the veteran safety who played his career in Indianapolis, coming over here as a free agent, made the tackle.
As I was going through my notes last night, the Denver Broncos in the red zone last year, 71% of the time ended these drives in touchdowns. I mean, that's amazing. Incredible. For an offense.
2nd and 8 from the 9. Manning is going to run. Gets inside the 10, maybe for a yard. Something you rarely see. Alfred, it is the preseason as Manning was taken down by Alden Smith, one of the great defensive ends in the NFL.
Ben, he did the right thing by getting down right there. You don't want to risk an injury, especially not in the preseason. But, yeah, that's a brand-new Peyton Manning. That just shows you how strong he is right now and how much confidence he has in his body.
Shows you how good he feels.
Right. He's retooled his body, and it's showing up every day in training camp. Now it's showing up in the games.
3rd and 7 from the 8, an empty backfield. Hillman is split to the right. Julius Thomas doesn't have a catch yet in the preseason. This is where he's so effective. Manning into the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for Andre Caldwell. Chris Culliver was there on the coverage, and the Broncos will attempt a field goal.
I know Peyton wants that one back. I think Caldwell had a great look at that football, great route, and just a little bit outside of the normal targeted area for Peyton Manning, and I know he wished he had that throw back.
Matt Prater is on. This will be a kick of 26 yards. This is shorter than the new extra point in the preseason.
You like that?
I kind of do. What do you think as that kick goes up and through?
I don't know if I
Can't
like
decide
it.
Yet? Well, we'll talk about it as the day goes on.
I'm not quite there yet.
Not there yet. Broncos take the lead. Time to meet the player. Brought to you by Century League. Tonight we spotlight former Cleveland Brown, now Denver Broncos safety T.J. Ward. He started 54 games, all of them he could during his first 4 years with the Browns. Last year, a breakout season, 123 tackles. He's also the first cousin of Raider running back Maurice Jones-Drew. What does T.J. Ward bring to the Broncos, Alfred?
He is the ultimate physical safety. He continues that line of great safeties that we're so used to seeing with the Denver Broncos. We're talking about guys like Steve Atwater, Dennis Smith. I mean, all of the great safeties, John Lynch's, all of those guys have one thing that they have in common. They like to hit you when you're crossing their face, and they can get involved in the running game. And he continues that tradition at safety.
Mitch Ewald will kick off again. Bruce Ellington and Bruce Miller are deep for the 49ers. This is Ellington from a couple yards deep in his end zone. He's out to about the 23. I don't want to jinx it, Al, but we have not seen a flag yet. This is very encouraging. We'll come back to Levi Stadium in just a minute. Great news, Colorado. Two of the most trusted names in news are moving to morning starting tomorrow morning. Cheryl Preheim and Marty Caniglio join Gary Shapiro, Corey Rose, and Greg Moss for Colorado's best morning news. 9 News beginning at 4:30. 49ers get it for the second time today. Carlos Hyde will be the running back. Bruce Miller the fullback. Colin Kaepernick remains the quarterback.
He's going a little longer than we thought he would go. From all reports, we thought he'd just go the first series, but I guess they didn't see enough.
Yeah, he only had one throw last week. Maybe they want him to give him a little bit more. This is Hyde on first down. He runs right into the middle of that Bronco defense.
It's great patience by the young running back. Most of the young running backs would have just shoved that ball right there on that right side of that offensive line, but he was patient enough to roll it back where he got good yardage. And in NFL terms, to get 4 yards on any drive while running it, that's a good day. That's a good down.
Niners have thrown a lot of Aqib Talib. Bradley Roby making his first NFL start. Hasn't been tested as of yet. Empty backfield on 2nd down and 6 from the 27. Kaepernick always a threat to run. He's got Brandon Lloyd across the 30 to the 32. Raheem Moore hits him quickly. It'll be just short of a first down.
I wonder how many times in practice did the young man want to make this tackle. Raheem Moore out there against Brandon Lloyd. You really can't make that tackle with your teammates, but when they play for the other team, that's something you can't wait to do, and I know he feels good about that one.
They gave him enough for the first down, so Brandon Lloyd, who's been around, of course he was an original draft choice of the 49ers, gets the first down. 1st and 10 for San Francisco from their own 33. Play action. Kaepernick looking deep, checks down to Carlos Hyde. He's knocked out of bounds by Lorente McCray at the 43. That'll be close to another first down.
If this was 3 years ago, Colin Kaepernick probably would have just took off with this football. But now you can see a more determined guy who's throwing the ball and using his weapons outside more than just taking off and using his own legs.
It's a pickup of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1 from just shy of the 43-yard line. Here's the handoff to Hyde. He's got enough for a first down. He's out to the 45.
That is a huge hit by Brandon Marshall right there. They got the first down, but trust me, Carlos Hyde, he felt that one. I mean, as soon as he got through that offensive line and you saw the contact was coming, the runner had no chance but to go backwards. He wasn't getting another inch.
Do you like Brandon Marshall?
I do.
Practice squad last year. He's got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, the guy is ultra athletic, and one thing that he does is that he can be a every down player. Not many linebackers can do that anymore in this league.
On 1st and 10, Kaepernick, a bullet that the tight end, Vance McDonald, was able to haul in. Marshall and Irving, the two linebackers, made the tackle, but a nice catch by the second-year tight end.
When you're playing defensive line, you're not going to always get there. So what you want to do against a guy like Kaepernick is be ready to put those hands up in the air so you can create some turnovers for your defense.
2nd and 1 from the Denver 45. Broncos out in front 3-0. The handoff is inside the 45 to Alphonso Smith, 5-year man out of Kentucky. Marshall again on the tackle. That's enough for a first down for San Francisco.
A little delayed draw on that right side, and it does just enough to hold the linebackers where they don't just go and take the gap, because it could be play action, and that was enough to get the first down for the 49ers.
Lloyd 84 and Patton 11, the wide receivers. Two tight ends in, Hyde the running back. 1st and 10. Handoff to Hyde, nearly hog-tied, and then finally brought down. Brandon Marshall, T.J. Ward, both there on the tackle.
And big Terrence Knighton right there shaking his head, telling you, no, you do not get a pass. You don't get to get your $200. You don't get the pass go. I'm here all day. And as you see right there, the big fella is two-gap in there and almost got the face mask, but let it go.
Alfred, big is an understatement when you're talking about Terrence Knighton.
You know, I saw a commercial for one of the products that he's representing, and I thought pot roast is now big time.
2nd and 9 from the 42. Quanterra Smith putting pressure on Kaepernick, and he throws it incomplete over the head of Brandon Lloyd. But Quanterra Smith, who had a good game last Thursday night, again getting pressure on the quarterback.
It's great awareness right there. What you want to do as a defensive end when you play an agile quarterback like Kaepernick is that you have to check the run, but more importantly, you have to protect the edge, because that guy, if he breaks containment, he can take it the distance.
So you check run quickly, right, first thing, and then get after the quarterback.
Yeah, you kind of shuffle, stay parallel to the line of scrimmage, and then get up the field, because that guy can hurt you running.
There's DeMarcus Ware. You had a chance to talk to him last night. He's a delightful guy. Here's Kaepernick. Over the middle, incomplete. Omar Bolden on the coverage. Stevie Johnson, who came over in a trade with Buffalo, was the intended receiver, and the 49ers will have to punt.
And the one thing that you want to do when you play defense is just win on 3rd down. The 49ers have converted on some second downs, but on 3rd down, the Denver Broncos have been good so far this game, and that's how you tell if you have the right group of guys. If you can get off the field on 3rd down, then you got the right group.
Number 11 is Jordan Norwood. He's deep to take the punt by Andy Lee. Norwood coming off a great game last week, and that punt will bounce into the end zone. So with 2:09 to go in the first quarter, Denver will take over at their 20. They've got the lead. Register today for the Broncos Back to Football 7K run at the stadium August 31st at 9 in the morning. You can meet Bronco alumni, cheerleaders, even get a behind-the-scenes stadium tour. You can finish up by running through the Bronco Tunnel and onto the field. Everyone gets a T-shirt and a medal for finishing. The proceeds benefit the National Sports Center for the Disabled. Register now at Broncos7K.com and get ready to get back to football. 1st and 10 from the 20. Broncos with 4 wideouts in the game. Manning tosses it out to Demaryius Thomas. It's a gain of 4 before he's run out of bounds by the corner, Chris Culliver.
Those are the kind of plays that Demaryius Thomas takes and breaks for the long one. I mean, he led the league the last 2 years with 35 plays that are 25 yards plus. And that guy's explosive.
Demaryius Thomas looks like he's ready to start the season.
There's no doubt about it. He looks fantastic. His attitude is right. And he's playing with the dog in him right now.
Broncos again have 4 wideouts, no running back. On 2nd down, Manning. Who else? Demaryius Thomas. And he should have gained just enough for a Bronco 1st down. Culliver ran him out. And it's a 1st down for Denver.
Last week, kind of the same feel in the passing game. A lot of Demaryius Thomas early. And I think that'll probably be the theme this year. Demaryius Thomas having over 1,400 yards receiving last year.
Peyton 6 of 8 for 52 yards. 1st and 10 just across their own 30. The handoff is to Ronnie Hillman. Good yardage here. Hillman all the way out to the 39. Chris Borland, the middle linebacker, made the tackle.
That's the kind of success you want when you're running the football. It's not going to be a whole lot of room there, but if you go ahead and stick it in there, you can get great yardage. And right there, 9 yards on a run looks to me to be the right way to run the football. Not just run it, but run it the right way.
Hillman 3 carries for 13 yards, 2nd and 2. Hillman's got it again. He's got a 1st down, running hard across the Niner 45 to the 47. It's another 1st down. Antoine Bethea, the strong safety, came up to make the hit.
Justin Smith, their 5-time Pro Bowler, has been out for the 49ers, and last weekend it must have been a bit of an embarrassment for this franchise to give up 237 rushing yards to the Ravens. The Broncos want some of those yards as well.
The Niners didn't play well. They were beaten 23-3. Broncos, of course, beat the Seahawks 21-16. Here's Jordan Norwood. Takes the pass from Manning. It's a short gain out to the Bronco 48. And that'll probably be the last play of the 1st quarter. Michael Wilhoit, the Mike linebacker, made the tackle.
A little rush zone right there from the 49ers, trying to get to Peyton Manning. Your attempts are futile. Peyton Manning's going to get rid of the football in less than 2.7 seconds.
We'll talk about that when we come back. We've played a quarter here from Levi Stadium. Broncos 3, 49ers nothing. Ron Zappolo and Alfred Williams back in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. About to start the 2nd quarter. Demaryius Thomas may have got the wind knocked out of him here.
Yeah, right there you can tell that he is hurting a little bit from his left hand, sticking it in there, trying to get a great block for Norwood. But as you can see over there, Greek is taking care of our #1 target at wide receiver, and it looks like he's going to be okay.
Greek being Broncos trainer Steve Antonopoulos, whatever it was, as Alfred pointed out, a left finger, left hand.
All I know him as
That's
Greek.
I know. Everybody knows him as Greek.
Didn't even know his name was Steve Antonopoulos.
Steve Antonopoulos.
5 catches for DT.
2nd and 7 from their own 48. The handoff is up the middle to Ronnie Hillman. He's into 49er territory. Make that C.J. Anderson who's in the game. He gets his first look. Ahmad Brooks made the tackle. C.J. Anderson, concussion last week against Seattle. Joined practice late this week and a participant this afternoon.
It's good to see him out there in the Bronco uniform. The NFL is so careful about how they treat the guys who've had a concussion.
3rd and 3 from the 48. Manning to Anderson. He's got enough for a 1st down. He's run out of bounds at the 42. Michael Wilhoit making the tackle, but it's a 1st down for Denver.
Last week we'll take a look at C.J. Anderson and how he got the concussion. As you can see right there, the play was not ruled as a fumble, but you can tell he needed some help off of the field. Always a scary moment when you see a guy go down.
First and 10 for the Broncos. The ball's at the San Francisco 42-yard line. The handoff to Anderson. Tries to get outside, but he can't. He's tackled at the line of scrimmage by Chris Borland, the middle linebacker.
Yeah, you want to keep a steady diet of running that football in the interior because that'll hold those linebackers. It'll set up for great plays down the line with those receivers right beyond the linebacker depth.
Got a timeout on the field. The Niners have a man down. We'll take a break and come back and sort it out when we continue. Antoine Bethea, the veteran strong safety, was the injured Niner who's walking off under his own power. Here's tonight's trivia question brought to you by Stevenson Automotive. How many times have the Broncos played the first football game in a new NFL stadium?
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Give you some time to think about that.
One of them is today. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I got one of them right, I know.
Oh. And, of course, they open their own stadium. 2nd and 9 from the 41. It's an empty backfield. Manning with plenty of time, steps up, fires over the middle. He's got Julius Thomas, his first catch of the preseason. The gifted young tight end down to the San Francisco 21, where Parrish Cox and Craig Dahl combined to make the stop.
That area right behind the linebackers is precious territory. As you can see, there's a distraction in front of the linebackers that causes them to step up, and Peyton Manning right there steps right through it and gets a nice shot in. Julius Thomas is going to have a great year this year.
Broncos have looked good on 2 drives against a very good defense. Here comes the rush. It's a screen to Thomas. He breaks 1 tackle. He's run out inside the 25 at the 24. Craig Dahl was the man that ran him out.
Dahl was,
go ahead, Al.
Yeah, Dahl was in perfect position there because he didn't go for the play action and he did not drop back in coverage. So it set up a nice play for the 49ers, a passing play for a loss. You don't see that very often in the NFL.
2nd and 11 from the 23. Manning to throw. He's got Ronnie Hillman inside the 20, down to the 16. Chris Borland makes the tackle. It'll set up a 3rd and about 5.
That is so good what he just did. He caught the football and in a typical Rod Smith move, turn your shoulders up and get 3 extra yards. You don't know what's going to happen around you, but you can guarantee another 2 or 3 yards by just catching the ball and immediately turning up the field. Great job by Ronnie Hillman there.
Peyton 11 of 13 for 85 yards. We're early in the 2nd quarter. Big play here. 3rd and 5 from the 17. C.J. Anderson is the running back. 3 wide receivers to the top of your screen. Denver 3 of 4 on 3rd down. Manning looking in the end zone. Touchdown! Julius Thomas.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The deception, the play set up, the execution, that was beautiful. See Peyton Manning right here gets the football and looks right the whole time, holds the safety, and Julius Thomas just flies wide open in the middle of the end zone. You can't get more wide open than that. That's great.
So Julius Thomas, who had been quiet for the first preseason game in the first quarter, a couple of catches on this drive, including the 17-yard touchdown grab. Matt Prater is on for the extra point, which again this week, experimentally, they put the ball at the 15. It'll be a 33-yard extra point. And it's good. 12 plays, 80 yards, 5.5 minutes as the Broncos take a 10-0 lead. Nine News is chatting live right now with Bronco fans on 9news.com and on Facebook. Play trivia games, answer fun, interactive polls, track the game with the best fan chat on the web. Log on to 9news.com now and get in the game. So a very impressive drive, Alfred. That may be it, I would think, for the day for Peyton Manning.
I would think so. Adam Gase just threw up a beautiful play that worked perfectly. 8 for 8 last drive, making Peyton Manning perfect. This is what we're used to around in Denver right now. I mean, I can't believe we've had other quarterbacks that couldn't do it now that we have Peyton Manning.
Here's the rookie Bruce Ellington from his own goal line. Breaks a tackle at the 20. Across the 30 to the 33 where number 13 Nathan Palmer wraps him up. We'll take another break. 11 and a half minutes to go in this first half. Denver out in front 10-0. And here's the answer to the trivia question. 3 times the Broncos have opened the new stadium, Shea Stadium, in 1964. Denver's own Invesco Field, as it was called then, back in 2001. And, of course, today here at Levi Stadium. Blaine Gabbert, the new quarterback for San Francisco, came from the Jacksonville Jaguars. He starts from his own 33. It's a quick pass out to the rookie Ellington. He gets by Bradley Roby, but doesn't go much further. He's out to the 36 for a gain of 3. What do you think of Blaine Gabbert?
You know, I love the guy coming out of Missouri. Big guy, strong arm, and just got into injury battles out there in Jacksonville, and it just could not get it done. And eventually they had to cut ties, and I think the 49ers got them a nice gem in Blaine Gabbert. I think he's going to develop into the type of quarterback that got him the first-round grade that he got.
I want to thank the people at Stevenson Automotive for that trivia question. It's 2nd down and 7 from the 36. Gabbert throws it out. He's got Ellington again. Short gain. Omar Bolden on the tackle. The Broncos have some smattering of second-team defensive players in there. Derek Wolfe and Sylvester Williams, 2 starters are in, but Malik Jackson's in. Quanterra Smith and Bolden, Bruton in the defensive secondary.
Most of the time in the second game of the preseason, what you want is that your starters to go around the quarter, 2 series, sometimes 3. And once you get enough looks at those guys, you want to get them out as quickly as possible to guard against injury.
From the shotgun, 3rd and 4 from the 39. Gabbert over the middle, incomplete. The first flag of the afternoon. He was looking for number 14, Kasim Osgood. Tony Carter, number 32, on the coverage.
A new emphasis this year.
Illegal contact, number 32, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
First penalty of the day. I can't believe we've gone this far without a flag.
What a difference a weeks make.
That's right. Even John Fox, we talked to him last night, he expected a fair amount of penalties today, has to be very pleased at the lack of flags.
Oh, my goodness. Look at that. 18.9 penalties in the preseason this year. That's huge. That's
a lot. That's too many for the regular season. On 1st and 10, Gabbert incomplete. It was intended for Ellington. Bradley Roby there on the coverage along with Brandon Marshall.
You can see the ball comes out of Gabbert's hand cleanly, but that's a wonderful play right there from the rookie who's trying to make an impact on this team that's full of veterans.
2nd down and 10 from the 44. A little more than 10 minutes to go in the first half. Denver out in front 10-0. There's the handoff up the middle to Alphonso Smith. Another flag is down, so maybe they're on their way. Sylvester Williams made the tackle, and now things get a little bit out of control. Sylvester Williams appeared to be in the middle of that scrum.
Yeah, I'm afraid they may have gotten him for unnecessary roughness. Broncos coming in late on the ball carrier.
After the play is over, personal foul, number 93, defense, 15-yard penalty for the end of the play, first down.
And that one's on Quanterra Smith, the call there by our referee today, Walt Coleman.
It's always great getting into games because you've been playing against each other for more than 20 practices, and I mean the practices have been heated over in Dove Valley with the Denver Broncos, and these guys have been in fights after fights. I mean, it's just been so tense this training.
There was one day you and I were standing there where John Fox had to stop things and bring everybody together and remind them that, you know, enough is enough. 1st and 10 from the 37. Handoff to Smith inside the 35, down to the 30. Bradley Roby making the tackle on Alphonso Smith. Pickup of 7, 2nd and 3.
See right here the handoff and great patience right there, and out of nowhere you saw that guy just flying in there. That's Bradley Roby, who's not afraid to tackle. That's one of the pluses that he has in his game, is that he's a physical cornerback.
Physical cornerback. You see it every day in camp, and he's shown it in these first 2 games. Playing today, starting for the injured Kayvon Webster. Here's Smith again. Nothing there. Brandon Marshall wraps him up just inside the 30. Brandon Marshall, Alfred, really looks active today.
Yeah, he does. I think the guy is he's certainly making his football team. The question is he going to be the starter on the first play of the regular season? Because right now they're giving guys looks, and he's getting the first look, and I know that they love him. I mean, anybody who's in the first sub package, knowing that most teams in NFL play in sub package, they got to love him.
Gabbert to throw. He's got his man. It's the tight end, Omar Bolden, making the tackle on the fullback, Will Tukuafu, after a short gain. I think I heard Brandon Marshall, might have been on your station this week. He said a day does not go by that he is not confused with the other Brandon Marshall.
Right, and he told us, he said, well, why in the world do these people think that I am the other Brandon Marshall? I'm wearing a Denver Bronco uniform, and the other Brandon Marshall plays in Chicago.
4th and 1 from the 28. The Niners will go for it. It's the fullback, Tukuafu. And it looks like he's got enough for a first down. He does. So the first 4th down conversion of the day.
This team, the 49ers, they're missing a huge part of their offensive line. Their talented offensive guard, Alex Boone, is out in a holdout, and they're trying to find somebody who will step up and be that stern force in the middle for them on offense.
1st and 10 from the 26. Blaine Gabbert drops it off, incomplete for Ellington. Bradley Roby was there on the coverage. We had a chance to talk to Brandon Marshall about the other Brandon Marshall.
It's an everyday thing, man. Every day, all day. Twitter, I get blown up on Twitter all day, every day. And, you know, people asking for donations. People talking about mental health. People talking about great one-hand catch.
It's got a good sense of humor about it. 2nd and 10 from the 26. Handoff, and there is nothing there. Brandon Marshall was there to meet Jewel Hampton, who was the ball carrier. Brandon Marshall stops him for no gain. Brandon Marshall had a good first half.
Yeah, he's got a good game going for himself right now. Now you need that explosive play, that tackle for loss. You'll take a look at the young man just fighting through a double team, just getting to the ball carrier, trying to rip the ball out. Can't get it, but he secures the tackle. That's the way it's supposed to look if you're playing middle linebacker. If you're blocked, don't stay blocked.
Ellington and Patton, the wide receivers. Hampton, the running back. Gabbert with time. Over the middle, nearly picked off by Omar Bolden. It bounced off Hampton's hands, and Omar Bolden had a shot, but couldn't come up with it. And it's 4th and 10 from the 26. The Niners will try a field goal.
That's what you see out of the young Blaine Gabbert. There's no reason for him to drill Hampton right there at that type of distance. You're talking about a guy who was running at 5 yards depth, and I mean, he gunned that ball in there. That's being an inexperienced quarterback.
Not a lot of touch. It'll be a 44-yard attempt for Phil Dawson, and he's going to miss it to the right. So it's clearly the preseason for the veteran 49er kicker. 6.5 minutes to go in this first half. The Broncos lead the Niners 10-0. The Auto Nation Bronco Huddle back this fall on Channel 9. It kicks off Wednesday, September 10th, with shows each week throughout the season. Join Rod Mackey and Bronco players and coaches Wednesday night at 6:30 on Channel 9. Brock Osweiler, coming off a good performance against the Seahawks, takes over at quarterback. He's in with the second teamers, and that means across the front it's Winston Justice, Ben Garland, Will Montgomery, Vincent Painter, and Michael Schofield. C.J. Anderson, the running back, The receivers are Latimer and Palmer on first down. It's a pass complete to Jarrell Robinson, one of the backup tight ends. Nick Moody making the tackle, number 54 for San Francisco.
When talking to Brock, he says he wants to get off of the emotional roller coaster. He wants to keep a level head, not too high, not too low, as he's developing as a young quarterback.
Pick up a 6, 2nd and 4 from the 40.
I think he'd like to keep this kind of pace going for himself.
And that one will be stopped with a flag down on the field. Looks like it'll go against Denver.
False start, number 79, offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And that's the second, or make that the third-round draft pick, Michael Schofield. Yeah, we talked to Brock last night, and he made the point that, after throwing a pick late in that first game, it was great to get a chance to come back. He said, how the preseason is, you might not get another chance, and you got a chance to play that last series and brought him down the field for the winning score. 2nd and 9 from the 35. The handoff to Anderson. He is hit in his own backfield and thrown for a loss. Tank Carradine, who had a good game last week for the 49ers, made the tackle.
When you're talking to Brock, the guy, first of all, his physical stature is overwhelming when you see him. He's 6'8", first of all, as a quarterback, and he's got a cannon for a right arm. And he has been wonderful this year in preseason. He just wants to get his reads down quicker.
He's got a 3rd and 11 from the 33. Steps up, hit, and down he goes, but he gets it off to C.J. Anderson. He's out to about the 38-yard line. Looked like Carradine had him sacked, but he was able to get it off. But it'll be short of a first down. The Broncos, for the first time today, will have to punt.
We'll take a look at Osweiler right here in the shotgun. Looks left, and right there you can see right now the play is basically over. The sack was happening. Great move right there to get in there and make things happen for the 49ers. That was Tank Carradine again. The guy's having a monster game right now.
Britton Colquitt, the Broncos veteran punter, will kick it. The rookie Bruce Ellington standing at his 15-yard line. This one angled towards the sidelines, and it's caught out of bounds at the 16.
Boy, Brock said he would sure like to play with the other toys that the first team offense has.
He'll get his chance eventually. A little over 4 minutes to go. Broncos out in front, 10-0.
Here's Osweiler last week, throwing the ball with great confidence right there in Norwood. Looks left, shows great ability to scramble, and this is what he can do that's different than Peyton Manning. He has great mobility in the pocket, and as you can see right here, that strong arm that we're talking about, Norwood once again with the touchdown grab.
Told us last night that he had Norwood in press coverage, and he knew immediately that he'd be open and just had to get the ball to him.
He said all he had to do was hold the safety with his eyes, and he knew Norwood would win because he saw press one-on-one coverage.
Marvin Austin, 76. Shaquille Barrett, 48. Couple of the rookies, Cody Larson, 47, in there now for the Broncos. 1st and 10. Gabbert, the pass is deflected, nearly intercepted by David Bruton.
He thinks he has one, but then he's going to go ahead and confess that it was not an interception.
Well, he tried to steal one there.
I don't think the players really want the flag to come out if they knew that if they were wrong, they would be fined about it.
No. Raheem Moore did the same thing last week. Took one off the ground and kept going until they blew the whistle. 2nd and 10 from the 16. Now we've got a stoppage in play.
Well, we're going to get that challenge.
We got the challenge. We're going to see if indeed he did.
Should there be a penalty on players when they say, I caught that ball, Coach?
Well, there's got to be pressure as the flag came from the Broncos side, so I believe it's the first challenge today, certainly maybe in the preseason.
If it's not good, it's going to cost them a timeout.
Denver is challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
Once again, if this was the regular season, will we see this challenge?
Don't know.
That's what you want to do as a defensive lineman. You see Unrein right there, just gets his hand up in the air long enough to get a tip. Oh, so close.
What do you think?
Oh, that's definitely an incomplete pass, but the effort was fantastic. You can see
close.
him.
It's close.
Yeah. He got the left hand on it, and it's just such a bang-bang play that maybe he felt like he caught it, but you'll see right there.
Right there.
Yeah, the ball hit the ground.
That's a good angle where you can see it hit the ground. Stay tuned during halftime in today's game for the 9 News Halftime Report. A quick look at today's news and weather from Adele Arakawa, Kyle Clark, and Kathy Sabin. The 9 News Halftime Report brought to you by Sonic.
That's why you see the coaches sometimes just have this look on their face like, no, kid, I'm not going to challenge it. And everybody at home initially thinks challenge it, but more times than not, the referees are right there on the spot. They can see what happened, and this is going to cost them a timeout.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Incomplete pass. Second down. Denver will be charged with their first team timeout.
But the coach has to believe in the player at some point. Now you're wrong. I believe in you a little less.
Yeah, I don't believe in you quite as much. I have to get back in my good graces. The Broncos, it's only been 6 quarters now, Al, but I mean, you're playing Seattle and San Francisco, generally regarded the 2 best teams in the NFL, and the Broncos putting themselves quite nicely.
Oh, so different. This team looks so different than they did last year.
2nd and 10. Gabbert throws and it's incomplete. Again, it was David Bruton there hitting the rookie Bruce Ellington. And there's Omar Bolden. He was there as well.
Gabbert only has one speed as a passer. He throws the ball
hard,
quickly, and the ball comes out of his hand quickly, but he throws it hard all the time. There's no touch involved with him as a passer. That's why he has 26 lifetime interceptions versus only 22 touchdowns.
It's 3rd and 10 from the 16. He completes the pass, but it's going to be far short of a first down. Asante Cleveland, the tight end, Omar Bolden again on the tackle, and the Niners will have to punt.
Yeah, this doesn't make sense for a young quarterback who's been part of this league for 3 seasons to throw that ball at 5 yards depth when you need 10 or 11. That's something that's got to be frustrating for everybody out there who's a football fan who says at least get it to the sticks to give us a shot, or lead the guy in a way that he can run with the ball after a catch.
Andy Lee will punt. Deep for the Broncos is Jordan Norwood back at his 25. The punt takes him all the way back to the 20. Makes the first man miss, makes a nice return across the 35.
Norwood takes it at the 20-yard line.
Out to the 37 where Dan Scooter, reserve linebacker number 51, makes the tackle. Jacksonville haven't had a lot of good quarterbacks, and they were willing to let Gabbert go. That has to tell you a little bit about how they feel.
Yeah. And I think Harbaugh was smart to pick him up. I mean, you kind of look at a franchise that was a losing franchise and a young, talented player, and you want to transform him into a different type of player. Now, we've seen this work around here in San Francisco with Steve Young, and I think they would like to have the same kind of success down the line with Gabbert.
Well, if he gets about a quarter of as good as Steve Young, they'll be thrilled. 1st and 10 from the 37. The handoff is to Anderson. He's out to the 39. For Darrell Morris making the tackle along with Michael Wilhoit, the inside linebacker.
And I love this about the Denver Broncos this year. I think they're making a concerted effort to play underneath the center. When the quarterback is underneath the center, it puts a different kind of pressure on the linebackers and the safeties. The run is real when he's under the center, but when he's in shotgun, it feels like everything is passed.
Cody Latimer and Nathan Palmer, the wide receivers. 2nd down. Niners show blitz. Broncos pick it up. Osweiler hits the tight end, Jarrell Robinson, up to the 45. Jimmy Ward, the free safety, makes the tackle.
Brock is starting to get into a little rhythm here, and I think that's kind of what they want to go, an up-tempo offense. It's really not a fast break offense. What it is, it's just an offense to keep guys that are part of the defense on the field. But when you make a substitution, the referees can hold you up like they're doing right there.
3rd and 2 from the 45. The handoff goes to C.J. Anderson, and he's got enough for a first down. He's up to the 49-yard line. That'll be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Broncos practice the 2-minute warning all the time, but mostly it's with Peyton Manning and not with Brock Osweiler.
Ron, we can laugh about it now, but we know that they live in the 2-minute.
Yes, they do. The 2-minute is their offense.
Right.
We'll take a break. 10-0 Denver. Two of the most trusted names in news are moving to the morning starting tomorrow morning. Cheryl Preheim, their Cheryl on the left, and Marty Caniglio join Gary Shapiro, Corey Rose, and Greg Moss for Colorado's best morning news. 9 News starts at 4:30 tomorrow morning. 2 minutes to go here in the first half ever played at Levi Stadium. Always remember the Broncos were the first team to ever score here. Julius Thomas got the first touchdown ever scored in this stadium. 1st and 10 from Denver, their own 49 is the line of scrimmage. Anderson into San Francisco territory, gets all the way down to the Niner 45. It's a 6-yard pickup. Tank Carradine made the tackle as the clock runs. Denver 2nd and 4 from the 45.
Nice patience right there from C.J. Anderson running with the football.
Palmer, Norwood, and Latimer, the receivers, as C.J. Anderson's got a first down to the San Francisco 36. Jimmy Ward, the free safety, number 25, made the tackle. Another Denver first down, 1:23 and counting.
Cringe a little bit with C.J. Anderson right there, knowing that he had a bit of a concussion last week.
Handoff again to Anderson. Gain of a couple. Number 57, Michael Wilhoit, making the tackle. Down to a minute to go now. 3 straight running plays for Denver. 2nd and 8 from the 33.
See if it's time now to put the ball in the air.
Yeah, I think it is. Jawan Thompson in the game for the first time, who had such a great opening night against Seattle. And there's Osweiler over the middle to Jacob Tammy. It's a first down to the San Francisco 13. Wilhoit making the tackle. A good throw by Osweiler.
And you can tell right there that he's excited about it. Tammy's having an excellent training camp. He's been great at the point of attack blocking, but on top of that, he's been so crisp in his route running, and you can tell the veteran knows what he's doing with the football in hand. I mean, he's looked so different than he did in the last couple of years he's been around here.
I mean, he's going to be the backup tight end, but I can't imagine a better backup tight end in the NFL.
Yeah, I can't imagine a more accomplished tight end. It's going to be a reserve.
I mean, when it comes to the receivers, the Broncos are loaded. Obviously, Peyton Manning makes everybody better, but a lot of talent on this offense.
And we can see the development of Brock Osweiler. He looks more in control than he ever has. And talking to Greg Knapp, he said that he's been impressed with Osweiler this year.
1st and 10 from the 13. Osweiler gets rid of it quickly. It's incomplete. He was looking for Jordan Norwood. Darrell Morris on the coverage, ball a little bit behind Norwood.
Even that play, which was a negative play for the Broncos, last year that would have been a sack. As you'll see the rush right here, it'll be a zone dog coming in from the middle. And as Osweiler takes the ball, he sees it coming quickly. He knows this is hot, and he gets rid of the football on time. He just didn't throw an accurate ball, but that was a fantastic play in comparison to where he was last year at this time.
And Michael Wilhoit hit Osweiler just as he threw. 2nd and 10 from the 13. Brock steps up, now he rolls, hit from behind, and it's incomplete. A flag is down. Norwood was the intended receiver. Wilhoit broke it up. Dan Skuta was applying the pressure.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 57, offense. 10-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal, first down.
I think he means 57 defense.
Right.
That'll be Michael Wilhoit.
You'll see right here, Osweiler scans left, sees what's happening in the middle, the zigzag route, and right there Norwood was his intended target, but as soon as that receiver stops in any zone coverage, the linebackers immediately turn their eyes to the quarterback. So what they end up doing is sugaring up to the wide receiver to grab him a little bit to anticipate knocking the ball down. And as you see, Norwood just bounced back outside, which made the linebacker just hold him right there.
Niners take a timeout. There's 31 seconds to go. Good practice here for Osweiler and the second-team offense in this 2-minute drill as they're trying to get it in.
Yeah, I think they're right now picking on number 57, Michael Wilhoit, and for good reason. He's the middle linebacker in the game. And if it was another linebacker in the game, they'd pick on him as well, because we know that the linebackers in general don't have the same kind of speed that the safeties have or the same kind of athleticism the corners have.
Speaking of linebackers, you mentioned a couple plays ago about a zone blitz. Can you explain to people exactly how a zone blitz differs from a different type of blitz?
Well, what you do in a zone blitz is you take one side of the defense and you overload it with pressure coming from just that side, and then the other side is the side that is going to be playing most of the time cover 3, which means we're going to play an umbrella, 3-deep coverage. And in zone dogs, usually if you can find the underneath Crouser, you can have big success, but you got to get the ball out quickly.
Empty backfield. First and goal from the 8. 31 seconds left in this first half. Osweiler, the quick throw, it's a turn into Tammy. He's down just near the goal line. They'll mark him down inside the 1. Wilhoit, along with Morris, making the tackle. Ball's on the 1-foot line.
49ers went with the zone dog again. Osweiler brings the team up to the line of scrimmage with 8 seconds left.
Clock's rolling, just a few seconds left. They got to get it snapped. Here's the handoff to Anderson. He is in for the touchdown with 2 seconds left in the first half.
Now that's exciting. I mean, you're talking about executing it perfectly so that you don't give your opponent time to recoup and have time to also place a score on the board. That's what you want. And Osweiler right here, Hillman with the great cut, the initial first cut, and right off a painter, just slams the ball into the end zone. You see when he put that left foot into the ground, that made for a quick decision that gave them the touchdown. Great job by Brock Osweiler. The development is on.
Tell you what, they on that 2-minute drive, they took their time, a lot of poise. They ran the ball liberally, used the timeouts at the right time, found the right man at the right time, and an impressive 2-minute drive. Prater on for the extra point. 11 plays, 63 yards, and 319. The kick is good, and Denver will go to the locker room with 2 seconds to go here, up 17-0. 11 plays, 63 yards. C.J. Anderson going over from 1 yard out.
You know, last week when we talked to Brock, he said that he was so concerned about being pulled out of the game because we know that the Broncos have to take a look at other guys. So when he threw the interception last week, he said that the worst thing that was rolling through his mind is that he wouldn't have a chance to redeem himself. And now that he knows that the coaches want to see more of him, I think he goes into the game feeling more comfortable about playing the quarterback position and knowing that he'll have a long look rather than just a couple of series or 2.
Do you think he's progressing enough that if something were to happen, that he could come in and hold the fort, so to speak?
What's holding the fort?
Well, maybe not running the offense like the master, but maybe playing well enough to get the Broncos a win or 2 if they would have to use it.
Absolutely, because it's not just a game that's played by the quarterback, it's also played by the special teams, and you also have an improved defense that can also create points and turnovers for you. So do I believe that he can do it? Yes, I do.
He really does look like a different quarterback from just a year ago, doesn't he?
Look at his confidence walking into the meeting room yesterday. I mean, shoulders back tall, nice and tall. And
he had a swagger when he came up to us.
I mean, he's no longer a rookie. He's no longer a guy who's trying to learn about what this league is about. He knows what this league is about, and he's showing right now that that pick that Broncos used on him was a good pick.
It's interesting when you talk about backup quarterbacks, especially in Denver. You hope that he doesn't get a chance to play all year.
Not at all.
You know, and if he does play, it's because the Broncos are up by a significant amount in the second half of certain games, and you can get him in there.
Now, and when we talked to John Fox yesterday, he said, hey, he's got to get a good look at Brock Osweiler to see who he is. So I don't know what that means for Zach Dysart, but don't look for him to play a whole bunch when they're trying to get a great evaluation on Brock Osweiler.
49ers take a knee, and a very impressive first half by the Broncos as they come to this new stadium and shut down the Niners. Let's go down to Rod Mackey.
Okay, Coach, very impressive first half on offense and defense. First of all, I want to ask you about Brandon Marshall. He's replacing your leading tackler from last season, Danny Trevathan. He's your leading tackler right now.
Oh, that's a good thing. You know, he's a good young player, a guy that has impressed all the coaches, myself included, and everybody in the organization. And I like the way he played in the first half.
We didn't know what to expect from Brandon, but we did know what to expect from Julius and Demarius. The Thomases, 8 catches between the two of them, 72 yards, and the touchdown. Don't miss a beat.
No, they're great players, and we're sure glad we had both of them.
Very good. Coach, thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, guys, we'll send it back up to you.
All right, Rod, thanks very much. Good first half of football for the Broncos as they prepare for the start of the regular season. They've got a 17-point lead at halftime. Most part, penalty-free this afternoon.
Yeah, now I thought we were going to have a lot more flags myself because it is preseason, and the referees, what they do in preseason is they emphasize certain penalties, which means that you may see more flags to kind of get guys used to, I guess, the new flavor of the year with the NFL referees, because we know if they're going to make a rule change, Ron, it's going to benefit the offense.
Because it always does. As a former defensive player, does that aggravate you a little bit?
Absolutely, man. You know, the one thing that when we were in beautiful Mile High Stadium, what we did was we flinched a lot, and the crowd was fantastic. Get guys to jump off sides. Now you do that, that's going to be a penalty on the defense, and the offense get 5 yards. That's not fair.
Cody Latimer is deep for the Broncos. He'll catch this one about 9 yards deep, and Brennan Clay, the other rookie, tells him to stay there. So the Broncos will take over at the 20. And you look at the Broncos' first half possessions, and I think the big thing there is that they kept the ball for a long time on all but one drive.
Yeah, and they only had one punt in the first half. I mean, in a normal NFL football game, you have somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 13 possessions, and when the Broncos are moving the ball and keeping the ball on the ground, we may see that shrink down to 9 or 10 possessions for them in this football game.
Juwan Thompson, who was so good against the Seahawks as the running back, as Osweiler on first down throws it out to Greg Wilson. He's out to the 25 for a gain of 5. Costanzo and Craig Dahl combined to make the tackle. Wilson, one-year player out of Fordham, trying to catch on.
Osweiler told us yesterday the way that they look at their passing game is kind of like the way that we look at punt returners. They want to get the ball in the receiver's hands as quickly as possible and give him space to run.
Osweiler to throw again. Over the middle, incomplete. He was looking for Wilson. Daryl Morris, the corner, was on the coverage. It'll be 3rd and 5 from the 25. Isaiah Burst, number 19, is checking into the game for the first time on offense for Denver.
When the Broncos make that substitution, that also gives the defense time to substitute. So you can't really go hurry up when you make a substitution because you have to give the defense a chance to get out there and get set as well.
3rd and 5 from the 25. Here comes the rush. Osweiler gets it to Thompson, and he's got a first down across the 30 to the 32. So Thompson out of the backfield making the catch. Nick Moody brought him down, but it's a first down for Denver.
Juwan Thompson is a name that we heard out of John Fox's mouth yesterday, and nothing but glowing comments for the young rookie out of Duke, and he is trying to make this team as a running back, and I don't know how many they're going to keep, but they will have him around Denver at some form of capacity.
Broncos 6 of 8 on 3rd down. Here's the throw to Wilson. He's got it. Daryl Morris stops him immediately at the 34 for a gain of 2. Let's go down to the sidelines and rock.
Yeah, guys, good stuff at halftime. I ran into the photographer lounge to get a thing of water. In line there at the buffet, Vaughn Miller grabbed a couple brats, grabbed a hamburger, might have even got a lemon bar, and then headed back into the Broncos locker room. I guess all things are not bad when you're recovering from an ACL. Back to you.
All right, Rod, thanks. 2nd down and 9 from the 33. Here's the handoff to Thompson going wide. Good tackle as he's hit by the free safety, Jimmy Ward. Not much of a gain there. Thompson last week was just terrific, Alfred.
Yeah, what you saw is great blocking at the point of attack right there from the offensive line. And then you've seen Thompson right there just get to the edge and get upfield. And you can see right there the relentlessness, running the football, not turning it down, the patience there, hitting the hole at the proper time to give his offensive lineman a chance to set those blocks up. And here you sit, boom, put that foot in the ground, get vertical as quickly as possible, make a great play for your offense.
On 3rd and 9, Osweiler over the middle, complete to Wilson for a first down. He's up to the 49-yard line. C.J. Spillman, the free safety, made the tackle, but Wilson his first catch, and it's good for a Denver first down.
Great job by the Denver Bronco offensive line. As you can see right there, creating space. Painter is sitting in there tight, and that's a perfect strike right there from Brock Osweiler. That play takes a long time to develop, and you got to credit those big guys up front for giving him a nice, comfortable pocket.
Wilson and Latimer, the wide receivers. Robinson, the tight end. Here's Brennan Clay on the carry. He's across the 50 to about the 48, a pickup of 2. Dontre Johnson, the right corner, making the tackle. Brennan Clay, a guy who we talked about the fights in camp earlier this week. Brennan Clay was in the middle of many of those.
Not turning it down, no matter who you are, whether you're a 10-year veteran, whether you're a rookie. As you can see right there from a run that he just had, he's willing to take the contact, whether you're in pads or out of them.
2nd and 7 from the 48. Here's Clay again. He's going to be thrown for a loss. Aaron Lynch, backup right side linebacker, their 5th-round draft pick, making the tackle.
Take a look right here at the run. You see the point of attack is just not, you have no push. For a good run to happen on offense, what you got to do is create a new line of scrimmage, which means that you have to get those defenders pushed back at least 1 yard to get the running back going.
Burson, Norwood into the game on 3rd and 9. Osweiler looking their way, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Greg Wilson. Daryl Morris was on the coverage, and the Broncos will have to punt.
That's a win for the 49ers right there. Brock Osweiler did not go for the sticks. See right there, he's looking down the field. Great job by the protection of Brennan Clay stepping in. And Osweiler right there was trying to give his receiver a chance to catch that football and turn something small into something big.
Britton Colquitt will punt. Parrish Cox deep for the 49ers. He's standing inside his own 10-yard line. Cox makes the fair catch, and the Niners will take over on their own 12 when we continue from Levi Stadium. Today's flashback brought to you by Sports Authority. September 15th, 2002, the last time the Broncos won a regular season game here in San Francisco, and it came behind the rushing attack of Mike Anderson and Orlandis Gary. They combined for 201 yards. Shannon Sharp caught the 700th pass of his career. The Broncos won 24-14. Let's set the Bronco defense for you. Some changes. Unrein, Austin, Quantera Smith, and Siona Foué up front. Corey Nelson, Lamine Barrow, Shaquille Barrett, the linebackers. And we'll get to the secondary in a minute. On 1st and 10, a turn in to Bruce Ellington, the rookie. He's across the 20 to the 23. Lorente McCray made the tackle, and he is shaken up.
Certainly that's not something you want to see in a preseason game. You don't ever want to see it, but talking about a kid who has been on the radar for the Denver Broncos for a couple of years, and they want to make sure that they get a great evaluation of him before they decide to do anything. Such a weird moment being hurt as the rest of the team is standing around you.
Al, that's Lamine Barrow, by the way. It's not McCray. Okay. It's Lamine Barrow, 57. We'll come right back. Lamine Barrow is being helped off the field. Here's how he got hurt, Alfred.
You see Omar Bolden right there was coming in to make a tackle and got him right on the knee. All-out effort right there, but in the process, you end up taking one of your teammates out. You can see immediately he grabbed that right knee.
1st and 10 from the 23. Gabbert throws to Ellington again. David Bruton, along with Bolden, is there to make the stop after a short gain. It's a good look at Lamine Barrow. Hopefully it is not serious.
Yeah, this kid out of LSU is going to be one of those guys that you're going to be reading about and hearing about for a long time. 23-year-old rookie. They wanted him to come in and compete for their starting job, and we hope that he gets better so they can get back to the action.
Barrow, a 5th-round draft choice. Under pressure, Gabbert dumps it off to Smith. He is hit hard at the 30, and down he goes. He's thrown for a loss. Shaquille Barrett, along with Steven Johnson, number 53, who had a pick last week, making the tackle.
Here's a whole draft class for the Broncos this 2014 season. Bradley Roby, Cody Latimer, Schofield, Lamine Barrow, and Paradis, along with Corey Nelson, a guy who Coach Fox was raving about as well. I mean, he's happy with his draft picks.
Corey Nelson in the game right now, along with Steven Johnson. 3rd down. The handoff goes right up the middle to Jewel Hampton. He's got a 1st down to the 35. Nelson, man we were just talking about, makes the tackle.
Right there, you put the defensive end in a pinch. What do? Do I go down and make the tackle? Do I protect the edge? One or the other. You got to give something. And right there, as a defensive coach, you tell them, always take the guy with the football. So you assume the running back has it. Maybe that wouldn't have been a 1st down. 9
minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Niners with a 1st and 10 from their own 34. They trail 17-0. The handoff to Hampton. Omar Bolden hits him at the 37, and that's about as far as he goes.
Omar Bolden is having a fantastic training camp. I mean, he looks so different this year. You're talking about a guy that's out there playing with confidence. He's certainly playing with confidence, and it's showing every single day that he's out in practice. He is one of the most competitive guys out there. He's also in his 3rd year, a teammate of Brock Osweiler at Arizona State.
2nd and 5 from the 39. Gabbert in the shotgun. Out to the corner, it's complete to Kasim Osgood. He's got a 1st down. Corey Nelson and David Bruton combine on the tackle, but it's a 1st down for San Francisco.
That pass right there from Blaine Gabbert, that ball came out of his hands so quickly and so accurately. Those are the kind of plays that made him a 1st-round draft. There's no defense to that. If you're going to throw the ball out there 5 yards on the money like that, you're probably going to get a completion in the NFL. The question is, can you do the other things in the middle of the field? And that's what they're going to try to find out from this talented quarterback.
Hampton on a sweep. He's in the Denver territory down to the 42. Duke Iheanacho into the game making the tackle. A flag down in the 49er backfield. This one could be coming back.
Offense, 10-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Carter Bykowski, the left tackle, called for the hold. So let a wipe out a good run by Jewel Hampton.
Anytime you see a running back in this league hit the corner without a hand being placed on him, you got to imagine a flag is going to come out, because all of these guys that play in this league in the NFL are big enough and fast enough to be where they're supposed to be. That was unusual, and I expected a flag.
1st and 20 from the 39. Gabbert fires one over the middle. It's picked off by Tony Carter. Carter at midfield. Carter down the sideline, all the way down to the San Francisco 32. A 1st down for Denver. Jewel Hampton finally making the tackle. The interception by Tony Carter and a 32-yard return.
That's a great job of playing the ball right there by Tony Carter. That looked like it was a seam route that was going to be open all day long. But the 5'9" cornerback out of Florida State made a great break on the ball and shows tremendous hands right there, snatching that ball out of the air, giving the Broncos the ball again in scoring territory. Take a look right here. Gabbert once again is just staring down the receiver, and Tony Carter just jumps right in front of that ball. Underthrew the receiver just enough for Tony Carter to grab that football, and once you see it happen, it's over. When the cornerback has the beat on the quarterback and the wide receiver doesn't know where the ball is going, you can guarantee a win for the cornerback. That's a nice tackle by
very nice tackle
by Gabbert.
I'll tell you what, Tony Carter in a secondary where there's a lot of talent, that's a big play because there's a lot of competition for those backup spots. Denver, 1st and 10 from the San Francisco 33. Osweiler in an empty backfield. He's going for all of it. Touchdown, Cody Latimer.
We've seen that all training camp. Osweiler to Cody Latimer. We've seen it all training camp. This kid out of Indiana has had a remarkable start to his Denver Bronco career, and I think he's going to be one of those good ones. Look for him to be worked in at some capacity on this starting unit in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and you'll see the ball just thrown perfectly. In the sudden change situation, you always know that the offense is going to take a shot. As a defender, you got to play for the big play in that situation.
First big play of Cody Latimer's Bronco career. Mitch Ewald on for the extra point, and it is good, and Denver has jumped out to an impressive 24-0 lead here at Levi Stadium against the 49ers. Next Saturday night, Broncos home against the Houston Texans at 7 o'clock. Our pregame coverage starts at 6 with a special edition of Broncos Tonight. Kickoff at 7 right here on KTVD Channel 20. The Texans come in next week for 3 days of workouts. Alfred, do you like that, hitting against another team during the week and then playing them that weekend?
Yeah, I like it as a broadcaster, but
yeah, but as a player.
Not as a player. I mean, training camp is tough enough. You got this brother-in-law type of relationship that's going on with the guys on the team. Well, when you see a different opponent, they're trying to get a job, and they want to dominate you every time they get a chance. It amps up practice, and it almost feels like game situations.
Quentin Patton fumbles the kickoff, gets it out to the 12 where Jawan Thompson, a good special teams player at Duke, made the tackle.
What a beautiful day it is here.
Especially if you're a Bronco fan or a Bronco player.
How about this? Temperature in Frisco is 68 degrees at kickoff, and the Broncos at today it's 79.
Beautiful day all around for the Broncos. Come back to Levi Stadium. There was a penalty on Denver on the kickoff, so the Broncos will kick again.
I was mentioning earlier that playing here in Santa Clara, it's a bit different than playing in San Francisco because it's warmer here in Santa Clara. 11 degrees warmer today at kickoff between Santa Clara and the area out there in San Francisco where, of course, the 49ers played for so many years. It's still the San Francisco 49ers. They are playing in Santa Clara.
Beautiful part of the country. Quentin Patton, number 11, is deep. From the 8. He's got room to run. Out to the 39-yard line. Before Jordan Sullen, one of the backup defensive backs, makes the tackle. So the Niners will have good field position to start this drive. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come right back with Denver out in front, 24-0.
Welcome back to Levi Stadium where Denver continues to dominate the 49ers. They are up 24-0. Injury update on Lamine Barrow, the rookie out of LSU. He was helped off the field, then stood up, drank water by himself, but then they had a cart come by. He was carted off into the locker room. Right now they're saying a lower leg injury. His return is questionable. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Rod, thanks. Josh Johnson, number 1, the new quarterback in the game for the 49ers, a 6-year man out of San Diego. He hands it off to Jewel Hampton on first down. He's across the 40 to the 42 where Sione Fue makes the tackle along with Corey Nelson.
They're going to get an extended look at Corey Nelson today. They want to see what they have in this young man. They want to make sure that he has the ability to step in just in case Lamine Barrow isn't ready to go. This young linebacking group is a talented group, but of course they have no experience.
Josh Johnson, as you can see, has been around, thrown 5 touchdowns in his NFL career. And he trips as he pulls away from the center. It's a broken play, and down he goes. Steven Johnson made the tackle. The ball may have come out.
Wonder where they are going to mark this.
And Denver's got it. Denver recovers. It's a first down for the Broncos.
Plays over right there. Just stay down on the ground. It's a negative play. Just be done with it.
Quantera Smith popped up with the football. You can see the ball.
Mitch Unrein with a great rip right there. And as you can see, the scrum at the bottom of that pile right there, it's a mad dash to find that football.
Not a good start for Josh Johnson.
You'll see right here, linebackers are scraping. Unrein is there and yanks the ball out before that knee hits the ground. Because of the play right there from Steven Johnson that held him up, and Josh Johnson was laying on Steven Johnson right there, it gave Mitch Unrein the time to rip the ball out. That's just great individual awareness.
It's hard to pick apart anything the Broncos have really not done all that well today.
Yeah, and the new rules in the NFL say that all turnovers will be replayed and verified on the field. And I know they were working on making sure that that what happened on the field was the right call, so that the coaches don't have to burn a challenge in a situation like this. But not a good start.
No. Tripped over his offensive lineman. Couldn't tell if it was the guard or the center, but the ball came out after he got up.
Now, he looked a lot better last week against the Ravens than, of course, Blaine Gabbert. And trying to figure out who he is as a player now takes some time, and it takes some game experience.
And he was 6 of 8 last week for 63 yards.
Yeah, he had a solid performance, moved the offense up and down the field, and this can't feel good. You know, one of the things that you worry about as a player who's on the bubble or they're trying to get a great evaluation of is, did I show enough? Did I do enough? You always want to know that you gave your best effort, and certainly that's not his best effort.
All right, here comes
After
the ball.
reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands.
So it's Bronco ball at the San Francisco 39-yard line. Broncos out in front 24-0, a chance to add to that total.
Last time we saw Brock Osweiler in a sudden change situation go for the gusto.
And now it's Zach Dysert in the game, number 2, the Broncos' third-string quarterback, getting his first work of this 2014 preseason. Thompson is the running back. Thompson's got it, and he's down to the 36. So Zach Dysert, who's looked good in camp, looked good last year. Second-year man out of Miami, Ohio, 7th-round draft pick a year ago.
He was great last year in preseason. He played so well that the Broncos couldn't cut him and put him on the practice squad because they feared that another team would get him off of waivers, and they wanted to keep him in their development. And they liked him last year. They wanted to make sure what they had with Osweiler. I think they're happy with what they've seen out of Brock, and they're going to give Zach a look.
Fowler 16, Wilson 15, the wide receivers. It's Thompson again. Gets a yard maybe to the 35 where Aaron Lynch, number 59, made the hit. It'll be 3rd and about 6.
They want to take a good look at Juwan Thompson because he is the biggest of the Denver Bronco running backs. At 5'11", 225 pounds, the free agent out of Duke has been running fantastic with the 1s and 2s, and he's been better in pass protection than he has been in running, which is a plus for him in a Denver Bronco uniform.
Dysert to throw for the first time. It's complete to Jarrell Robinson to the 30-yard line. Kenneth Acker, number 38, makes the tackle, and Robinson slow to get up.
Unfortunate. Terrell Robinson has been trying to come along as a tight end on this roster, and he's put the weight on. Now he's 220 pounds out of Arizona State. Another quarterback-friendly target from Arizona State. Brock Osweiler's favorite target.
We'll take a break, come back. Hopefully Jarrell Robinson is okay. Denver out in front. Helped off, and you can see him as he gets to the bench right there. So we've lost Lamine Barrow and Jarrell Robinson to what appears to be knee injuries here in this third quarter. 4th and 1 for Denver. They're going to go for it. The handoff is to Thompson, and it appears he has enough for a first down. It all depends where they mark it, but it looks like he's got enough. Craig Dahl made the tackle.
It's good stubborn running right there from the rookie out of Duke. The offensive line does their job and makes sure they get a hat on the hat, and the rest is on the running back. Sometimes when you're playing running back and they draw up a play, the running back coaches tell you, you have this one, which means there's going to be an unblocked guy. Do something, make him miss, get a first down.
1st and 10 from the 28. From the shotgun. Dicer hands it off to Thompson. He's hit at the line of scrimmage. No gain there. Mike Purcell out of Wyoming made the tackle. Mike Purcell, he's from Highlands Ranch, trying to make this 49er defense.
You know, I was thinking more about that injury to Jarrell Robinson, and I wonder with the new concussion rules or the targeting rules, are you going to see more injuries in the NFL to lower body parts because guys are going to go low?
That's the thing. I mean, a lot of guys don't like it because they go low and they say head injuries, as bad as they are, you know, the knee injury is something that ruins your career. Dysert has Cody Latimer inside the 20, and he's got a first down at the 16. I'm sorry, make that Benny Fowler, number 16. Benny Fowler on the catch. Daryl Morris making the tackle. A pickup of 11 and a first down.
That was nice determination right there from Fowler. I mean, he catches the ball and looks like he's going to go out and spins back around and gets those extra yards to move the chains.
Dyser's completed his first 2 attempts for 16 yards. Wilson, Burse, and Fowler, the wide receivers. Brennan Clay, number 34, now in at running back. Dysert throws incomplete. He was looking for Greg Wilson at the goal line. Kenneth Acker, the cornerback, broke the play up.
It was a great play by Acker right there. That ball was thrown on time, on target, and the defender just won right here. The window was nice, and was that a bit of a drop right there? We'll take another look at it from this angle. And we'll see Dysart dropping back, and he's locked on. No, it's just a great play by the corner.
2nd and 10, 2:12 to go in the third quarter. A handoff to Jawan Thompson inside the 15 to about the 14. Craig Dahl making the tackle will bring up a third down for Denver.
You know, we talk about playmakers in this game, and not all the playmakers are guys that carry the football. We got big playmakers out there too, offensive linemen. They have a chance right now, especially in this part of the field, to show that they're playmakers as well.
Broncos' second team offensive line has been in there most of the day. 3rd and 8 from the 14. Dysert out to Thompson. Breaks the tackle, gets a first down, and he's down to the 1. He just ran over C.J. Spillman, number 27, a first down for Denver.
We've been seeing this out of Jawan Thompson the entire preseason. Now the 49ers get the chance to see it. As you see right there, the zone dog, the blitz, puts a safety out in one-on-one territory with a big physical 225-pound man who just lowers his shoulders and just tries to sniff out that goal line. I wonder if they're going to reward him here.
They will. 1st and goal from inside the 1. Dysert to throw. It's a touchdown. Benny Fowler, and there's a flag down. This might go against Fowler. We'll see.
Is that a reward run?
No.
Is that what you call a reward?
No.
Throw it out to.
Pass interference, number 16, offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
No, Al, that is not a reward at all.
You do all the work and get down there and throw it outside for a apparent touchdown that Fowler gets called for the push-off.
And then you get a push to boots, and now you're back outside the 10.
Yeah, those running backs, man, when you get around the 1 yard line, anything inside the 5 yard line, they want to touch that football. They want to get into the end zone. They got their buddies saying that they got them on their fantasy team. When are you going to score a touchdown? Well, they're getting that situation. Hey, there are other people on fantasy football clubs as well.
Fowler, Burse, and Wilson all to the left. Thompson split up to the right, along with Cameron Moore, one of the backup tight ends. The throw is intercepted off the hands of Fowler, and the 49ers, Acker has it. He's out to the 49er 29, a first down. Kenneth Acker, their 6th-round pick.
It's going to come back. There was an offsides on the defensive left side.
Let's take a look.
Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Alfred was all over it.
Yeah, I saw a flag go up immediately. As an old defensive lineman, you see when those big guys start leaning.
And there it is.
And you see the pick that wasn't.
Well, that's a tough penalty because you cost your team a possession.
Oh, yeah. Aaron Lynch, the 5th-round draft pick of the 49ers, is probably going to hear about that later on from that 49er staff.
They have some recognizable names on their staff. Ed Donatel, the former Broncos secondary coach, coaches the secondary here. Eric Mangini, the former Jets head coach, coaches the tight ends.
Yeah, when you start looking at the notes out there are a lot of guys out there that have relationships. Manny Ramirez and Luis Vasquez played together with Michael Crabtree at Texas Tech.
It's 1st and goal for Denver at the 6. Brennan Clay, now the running back. He gets the handoff. He's down to about the 3. It might be the last play of the 3rd quarter. Chase Thomas, number 48, made the tackle.
No, looking at that running back group all together, and there was one overriding theme. They're young. Okay, Monte Ball is the veteran. Well, should I say Ronnie Hillman is the veteran. He's been here. This is his 3rd year.
Yeah.
He's been here for 3 years, but he's only 22 years old. And that is that's extremely young to enter into the NFL and to be in your 3rd year.
We'll talk about some of these position battles in the 4th quarter. After 3, it is all Denver. Ron Zapolo and Alfred Williams back at the Levi Stadium, where Ronnie Hillman and the Broncos have just dominated this game from the opening gun. Denver a chance to widen their lead as they have a 2nd and goal from the 4 as we start the 4th quarter.
How about looking at this football team, the 2 favorite guys that John Fox likes in their development is Von Miller and, of course, Ronnie Hillman. That speaks in volumes,
Sure
considering
does.
this team.
We haven't seen Von Miller yet. We may see him next Saturday night. The handoff to Clay. It's a yard down to about the 2, or it'll be 3rd and goal.
Von Miller looks spectacular right now. Everything that he does out there as a football player is a shining moment for the Broncos to say we did the right thing, making sure this young man was around here and making sure that he had the support that he needed to get back to this level.
Broncos with a 3rd and goal. Clay, the running back, 4 receivers in the game. Dysert. The ball is caught by Greg Wilson, but a flag is down at the goal line.
May get him for a pick route.
Pass interference. Number 86. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Calls on Cameron Moore, one of the backup tight ends. So the Broncos have had a couple of offensive pass interference calls.
You'll see Dysart look over immediately. And what happens is that big tight end comes and posts up, but what he has to do is look for the ball immediately and just give up his body and not worry about what's happening behind him. You can't shield, you can't block, you can't do any of those things. You just got to let the play happen. It's going to be a natural rub no matter what. It would have been a nice, easy touchdown.
3rd and goal from the 12. Dysart from the shotgun. He's going to take off, and down he goes. He slides down at about the 8. That'll set up a 4th and goal, and the Broncos will send on the field goal team.
Dysart actually threw 2 touchdowns on that drive. Neither one of them counted.
That's right.
4-yard gain.
Oh, what a job of a backup quarterback.
You wonder if the Broncos will carry 3 quarterbacks this year. They did last year, or might they try to slip Zach Dysart through to the practice squad?
Initially, I thought that they would only keep 2 quarterbacks, but Dysart again impresses. So
we will see.
what do you do?
12 men on defense, 5-yard penalty.
12 men on the field as the game is beginning to deteriorate a little bit in this 4th quarter. Mitch Ewald is on to try the field goal. It'll be 5 yards closer.
We're talking about how many quarterbacks the Broncos could keep. A lot of that in the past depended on Peyton Manning and his development and his physical presence.
22-yard attempt for Ewald. And he slides it through. So the Broncos extend their lead to 27-0. 13.5 minutes to go here. The Broncos dominating 27-0. Take a look today at the quarterback comparison. Both of the numbers on each side of the ledger outstanding.
Yeah, when you look at the quarterback ratings for both quarterbacks are over 120. You know that they've had a good day, but Brock Osweiler's number, if they continue to mirror Peyton Manning, then I think the Broncos are very happy about that 2nd-round draft pick out of Arizona State. You know, John Fox has had 5 11-win seasons, and 2 of them have been with Peyton Manning. But if Osweiler continues like that, we may see that later down the line.
Prater kicks it off to David Reed. He is not going far. He is down at the 13-yard line. The ball is loose. We'll see if it came down after the whistle. I think it did. Capri Bibbs down there making a play on special teams. We have not seen Bibbs from the line of scrimmage yet. And they're giving the ball to Denver. It's another turnover for San Francisco. David Reed fumbling the kickoff.
As you see right there, he's struggling and fighting for yards, and the ball is poked out right at the end. Once again, being held up by a defender. That's how you make the turnovers happen. You got to get multiple guys to the ball carrier to create confusion by the runner so that he is trying to avoid one. The second guy is usually the guy that pops the ball out.
Capri Bibbs, Benny Fowler were both down there making the tackle, and somebody got a hand in there and knocked it out.
You know, for an offensive coordinator, this is fantastic because Adam Gase is dialing up plays right now that work for each quarterback. So Dysart's package is different than Osweiler's package, and Osweiler's package is different than Peyton Manning.
Capri Bibbs now in the game for the first time. Dysart to throw. He looks for burst. It's incomplete. Aaron Lynch on the coverage. Broncos have scored 10 points off 3 turnovers. Broncos have done everything well today.
Yeah, and talking to John Fox, what he said was they're not going to game plan the 49ers. He said that's not what we're here to do. We're here to see what our players can do with our game plan. We would do this against any team. The only difference is they run a 3-4 defense, and last week we saw a 4-3 defense.
2nd and 10. It's Capri Bibbs who gets inside the 10 to about the 9. Chase Thomas makes the hit.
We've seen a couple of these running backs stumble a little bit running with the football, but the field is in perfect shape. It is a fast football surface. It's going to be a fantastic field when Super Bowl happens here in 2016, February 7th. I mean, the field is in great shape. I don't know what the running backs are tripping up on.
3rd and goal from the 9. Dysart to throw. Steps up. Now he'll run. Dysart down to the 1 where he's hit and stopped. Shane Scove, number 44, making the tackle. The Broncos will go for it on 4th down.
Wow. Backup quarterback showing everybody he's got what it takes.
Capri Bibbs gets the handoff and he won't get there. Chase Thomas made the tackle on Bibbs, and the 49ers will take over on downs.
What you want to do in this situation is hold the defense there, but you absolutely want to get a hat on a hat.
Niners will take over with the length of the field to go. They trail by 27. Have gone to a lot of 3rd-string defenders up front. Kenny Ananiki, 68. Siona Fua, 91. Cody Larson, 60. Will Prechek, 69. L.J. Ford, 50, one of the linebackers in the game. John Boyette, 20. Jerome Murphy, 45. Jordan Sullen, 42. Charles Mitchell, 41. As Josh Johnson from his own end zone hits Jewel Hampton. He's hit down by Mitchell at about the 4. Let's go down to the sidelines for the latest on the injuries with Brock.
Yeah, Ron, the story with Jarrell Robinson, basically the same thing as Lamine Barrow. It's a right knee injury. He is out for the game. Back to you.
All right, Rod, thanks. 2nd and 8 from the 4-yard line. Broncos getting a deep look at some of their defensive players here in this 4th quarter. The handoff is to Hampton. He's out across the 5 to about the 9. Jamar Chaney, number 51, making the tackle.
In a normal game situation, of course, you'd see a hurry-up offense, but right now what you have is an evaluation for a different set of guys. So the rules are the same for this group as they were for the opening group. There is no hurry-up. There is no anything different than the base offense.
3rd and 3 from the 9 for Josh Johnson. Here comes the rush. Ananiki in the end zone, and he's finally knocked down by Jarrell Harris at the 3-yard line.
And Jarrell Harris right there starts on the right side and loops all the way back underneath to get him on the ground.
Flag down at the Niner 15-yard line.
Holding, number 42, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
That's on Jordan Sullen, the rookie cornerback from Tulane.
Yeah, as those plays get extended, those defenders in the secondary, they get a little anxious and tend to grab people. That's one of the toughest things that you can do as a defender, as a quarterback, is out there rolling around is not know where your help is going to be. So you grab.
Niners have a 1st down at their own 13. Johnson will run, and down he goes to the 16. L.J. Fort, number 50. Knocks him down there as Johnson was beginning to slide.
Jack Del Rio's got to be very happy with his defense. I talked about Adam Gase and how great it must be for him to design 3 separate game plans, but Jack Del Rio has been on point with his defense today. They've been everywhere all the time.
Johnson, play action, as if that matters at this point. The throw is to Hampton, and he drops it. Jamar Chaney was there on the coverage. Alfred, we have officially hit garbage time, I think, with 10:17 to go. That's an NBA term, but it's apropos here.
I was looking at some numbers last night and looked at Wes Welker. Wes Welker was in a situation similar to this when he was in San Diego. He got no catches there. They release him. And I guarantee you they wish they wouldn't when you look at over 800 receptions now.
3rd and 7 from the 16, a little crossing route, and there's a flag down as quite a hit was put on by Jerome Murphy on Devin Wiley, number 19. And a flag came in immediately.
Well, you got a receiver going down to the ground, and you have a defender trying to stop him from getting that extra yardage. So receiver goes lower. You have to target lower. This is a tough call. Okay.
It's an incomplete pass. Now we'll check out the flag.
The pass is incomplete. Personal foul, number 45. Defense hit on a defenseless receiver. 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
And that's on Jerome Murphy.
As a defender, that's a tough call. That's a tough call because he catches the football. He sees him, and he just lowers his head to try to knock the guy down so that he doesn't advance for a first down.
That is really a tough call.
Because the receiver looks at him. The receiver looks at him.
What else can he do there?
I don't know how you get him on the ground if you can't do that.
Handoff is to Hampton up the middle. He's across the 35. That's a tough call. David Bruton, Charles Mitchell on the tackle. That's a tough call because he's playing the receiver who's got the ball at that point.
You know, the NFL is trying to do a great job of explaining to people to keep your head up, and I don't believe his head was up on the tackle, but it should have been a stop on 3rd down.
There's a flag down. Will Prechek putting on the pressure. L.J. Ford finally making the tackle on Johnson.
Holding, number 62, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's on Ryan Seymour, the right tackle, as both teams are now deep into their depth charts as we're midway in this 4th quarter.
Ryan Seymour, the 2nd-year veteran out of Vanderbilt, got caught right there.
Right now, if you're a veteran player, you happen to be in this game, you're just trying to get out unscathed, right?
You're trying to make the team.
Well, you're trying to make the team. If you're in the game at this point, you're trying to make the team.
Right, there's no question about it. If you're lucky enough to be here in what we consider garbage time, you're trying to make this team.
Here's Johnson. That time. And it's incomplete. He was looking for Asante Cleveland, the tight end. John Boyette, number 20, who's had a pretty good camp. Physical player. And there's another flag down. Most of the flags now.
End up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
That's on Brian Sanford, number 72, lining up in the neutral zone.
You know what you're trying to do as a defensive lineman is take all of the space towards the football that you can, but sometimes when you get set, the center moves the ball up. So sometimes you just end up lining up outsides.
Johnson to throw. He's got his man across the 35 to the 37. That's David Reed. John Boyette again on the coverage. It'll bring up a 3rd and short for San Francisco.
Boyette is one of the fieriest guys.
He is.
I mean, he is fiery. Everything he does around the Denver Broncos is talked about in great detail because he will compete no matter what.
3rd and 3 from their own 38. Johnson trying to avoid the rush. He can't, and down he goes. Kenny Ananiki is there, along with Siona Fua.
Well, Josh Johnson hasn't shown very much today. It's good news for the Denver Broncos. Bad news for Josh Johnson.
Not too many players in the Niners have shown too much today. Isaiah Burst, number 19, is deep to receive this punt. Colton Schmidt will punt for San Francisco. Isaiah Burst from his own 13. Not much room, and down he goes at the 21. Shane Scove making the tackle. Denver will take over at their own 21 when we return. Seven minutes, 41 seconds to go in this one from the brand spanking new Levi Stadium. This has been all Broncos today, 27-0, and they have looked just that good. You can see a couple of new offensive linemen. Ryan Miller, the former Colorado Star, number 73. He's in there along with Matt Paradis, number 61, their 6th-round pick. Zach Dysert still at quarterback. Dysert throws to the tight end, Jason Kahns, who's got it, and he's up to the 25. Andre Johnson made the tackle, pick up a 4.
You know, the 49ers are playing here on Sunday because they don't have a lot of parking around here in Silicon Valley. And if you want to guarantee that you'll have enough parking, the way that you do your preseason games is that you schedule them on Sunday.
Capri Bibbs with the football. And nearly gets back to the line of scrimmage.
And so many businesses, as we were driving in, they were not going to let you park in their parking lots. I mean, we're talking about some huge corporations around here that are household names in the tech sector, and those people want to protect their parking lots, I guess, as private entities.
Sure, any new stadium, you have to work the kinks out. The parking is one of the problems, and they will, as time goes on, they'll figure it out. 3rd and 7 from the 24. Dysert to Benny Fowler. Makes a couple of guys miss and gets a first down. He's out to the 32. Darrell Morris makes the tackle, but a nice move by Benny Fowler and a first down.
Benny Fowler has had a solid training camp so far. He's a guy who's fighting an uphill battle with this receiving core, and Emmanuel Sanders has not even participated yet as a Denver Bronco yet. And you know that they're a deep unit, and Isaiah Burst is out there right now. This is going to be a highly contested position to see who is able to just to stay on the practice squad around here with the Denver Broncos.
As we talked about in our open, they are just so deep this year as Capri Bibbs gets it on first down. Good run across the 40, all the way out to the 44. Andre Johnson made the tackle. I mean, you made a great point, Al. I mean, we haven't even seen Von Miller, Chris Harris, or Emmanuel Sanders yet.
No, and
three players are going to play big roles.
Yeah, and 3 free agents that the Broncos have acquired, the unrestricted free agents that the Broncos have acquired. DeMarcus Ware has played great. Emmanuel Sanders hasn't played at all. And then T.J. Ward has made an impact, and it's been a solid offseason for the Broncos.
That it has. Niners have a man down. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Five and a half minutes to go here in this fourth quarter. Denver out in front 27-0. DJ Campbell is the injured 49er. Backup strong safety. It's an interesting graphic on consecutive seasons with a rookie college free agent making your roster.
Yeah, and looking at this team, I can see one guy who has stood out more than any other, and that's Juwan
Thompson.
Yeah, the outstanding running back again from Duke, who's physical, who got the catch down on the goal line and tried to force his way in with sheer determination, and the Broncos love his size. It's at 6 foot and 225 pounds. I mean, that's the kind of running back that will make a difference in short yardage situations.
He ran over the free safety, C.J. Spillman. I just don't see any way that he doesn't make this final roster.
Yeah, 10 years straight of undrafted free agents making a team. That's got to be somewhere close to a record.
Broncos have a 1st and 10 from their own 43 as they'll probably work on running this clock down. Gerodis Williams in the backfield. He gets the handoff. He's hit immediately and dropped for a loss. James McCray making the tackle. Williams getting his first look from the line of scrimmage in these 2 games.
And McCray is just like everybody else around here in the stadium. The Broncos want to end this game, and the way that you do that in the NFL is that you run the football. But when you do that, it's also a disadvantage for you because the defenders know that you're just trying to run the football.
Sure. Again, it's Gerodis Williams. It's a couple yards out to the 45. It'll be third and about 8.
I think the Broncos are ready to warm that plane up to get back to Denver, because when you look out there, Jarrell Robinson has had an injury, and the talented rookie Lamine Barrow also have had his share of bumps and bruises, and he got carted off the field today.
Third and 8 from the 45. Zach Dysert in the shotgun. Williams is the running back. Dysert hit from behind, and it's incomplete. Gerodis Williams was in the area. The Broncos will have to punt.
You know, every situation in the NFL is practice, and this time of the game is called your 4-minute offense, and it's right around right now where you want to just get 2 first downs to end the game. Every moment in the NFL is a teaching moment, and what you want to be able to do in this situation is hold the football and not allow your opponent to even touch the ball. Just say that you were up by 2 points. That's exactly what you wanted to do in that situation.
Parrish Cox is deep to take the punt from Britton Colquitt. He calls for and makes the fair catch at his own 12-yard line. Colorado's largest cycling event returns for its 4th and biggest year yet. The USA Pro Challenge features some of the world's premier racers and cycling teams. Starting in Aspen August 18th, going through Crested Butte, Gunnison, The Springs, Breckenridge, Vail, Boulder, and ending August 24th in Denver. Doma's daily reports from Susie Wargin on 9 News, the USA Pro Challenge. I think all in all, Alfred, the Broncos have to be thrilled, other than the 2 injuries, of what they accomplished today against a very good football team.
Yeah, the 49ers went 12-4 last year. The Broncos, of course, went 13-3. But you got to feel good about the performance in this kind of environment.
McLeod Bethel Thompson is in a quarterback. The end around that goes to LaDamian Washington, number 82. He's got enough for a first down. Charles Mitchell making the tackle.
These 2 teams will meet again in the regular season on October 16th. I don't know how many of these guys that are playing on the field right now will be part of that contest.
Bethel Thompson throws to his tight end, Asante Cleveland. A flag is down at the 22.
Illegal formation on the offense. Wide receiver covered up, number 45. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Where do you think the Broncos are going to have the toughest decisions? What position group, Alfred, cutting down? They don't have to make any cuts until a week from Tuesday, the 26th, before that Dallas game. They have to get to 75. Where are they going to have the toughest, in your mind, the toughest decisions?
Well, I think the running back position in general is going to be the toughest for them to make decisions on, because a lot of the guys look the same. So Monte Ball, Ronnie Hillman, and C.J. Anderson are the top 3.
Steven Johnson with the interception off a deflection, and for the 2nd straight game, Steven Johnson comes up with a deflected pass for an interception.
Yeah, that's another group. The linebackers and the running backs are filled with young guys, and as you just said, Steven Johnson makes another play in the 4th quarter with the game on the line. Not so much so.
Well, the game wasn't on the line, but it was a similar kind of play that he made against the Seahawks.
Right.
When the game was on the line.
He's got terrific hands, and you saw the pressure right there coming from the defensive line, and Steven Johnson is the recipient of another turnover. That's 4 for the 49ers today.
Capri Bibbs now back in the running back spot as the Broncos will attempt to run out the rest of this clock. Dysert throws a wobbly one, and it's caught by Greg Harden. He's ran out at the 23 by Darryl Morris.
You'll see in this situation, John Fox is telling them to stay in bounds. You don't want to risk another injury in this situation. 1 first down, and you can go ahead and kneel on the football.
2nd and 9 from the 22. It's been all Denver. You can look at the total yards there. More than 2-1. Dysert to throw again. Over the middle. It's complete to Cameron Moore. He's inside the 20 to about the 16. Pickup of 6. It'll be 3rd and 3. Cameron Mora and Jamison Collins have the unfortunate situation of being two tight ends on a team loaded with some good tight ends in front of them.
Yeah, and I think Collins can play. I think Jamison Collins is a steal, and I think he may make this final roster because he can play the fullback position as well.
There's the throw out to Cameron Mora, and that's a touchdown. Cameron Mora took the swing pass and gets into the end zone, and Denver extends their lead.
We'll take a look right here. Just a coverage bust. You have two guys going with the inside receiver and leaves the flat receiver wide open. That can never happen on any defense. The edge of your defense has to be set, and the edge of your defense starts at the beginning, at the line of scrimmage, and it goes all the way until you get to the safeties.
Cameron Mora, a four-year man from California. Mitch Ewald with the extra point. And Denver stretches their lead to 34-0.
John Fox has got to be happy with his team's effort today. I think we talked about it. The team coming out here playing tough, playing fast, and having playmakers on the field. We've seen that in every department, on offense, on special teams, and on defense.
You don't want to get too carried away. It's a couple of preseason games, so you want to temper it a little bit. But you consider the opposition, and you consider the way Denver has looked. They look like they are indeed ready to go.
Our first team played their first out. Our first team played their first team defense.
Right.
Our first team defense played their first team offense. The way I look at that is that we won in that department.
Yeah.
Second team plays against the second team. The third team plays against the third team. They're all individual competitions.
Yes.
But when you look up on the board and you see 34 points to nothing, well, it has got to be for the Broncos. And I'm not telling you that full game plan is for either one of these teams, but you got to appreciate the effort by the Broncos.
And on the other hand, Jim Harbaugh can't be real happy. They didn't play well against the Ravens last week, and they're really not playing very well today. That's back-to-back poor performances.
It's not the way you want to open your new stadium.
No, it isn't. This is Quentin Patton. He'll bring it out. He doesn't make it to the 20-yard line. Next week, the Broncos are home to take on the Texans on Saturday, August 23rd at 7 o'clock. That's the one that historically is most like a regular season game. Our pregame coverage starts at 6 with a special edition of Broncos Tonight. Kickoff is at 7 right here on KTVD Channel 20. Broncos open the season on Sunday night against Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts. And anytime Peyton Manning goes against the Colts, there's always something a little special.
Well, Peyton will make it special because it's a home game and it's important, but
12 men on the defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I don't think that he cares who his opponent is right now because his determination is different than it was last year. His body looks different. His demeanor is different. I mean, he is on it at practice. He is demanding that the receivers do the right thing all the time, and his offensive linemen give him a pocket. And it's clear that he's not done with his development, and he doesn't want anybody around them to be comfortable with where they are.
Bethel Thompson swings it out to Jewel Hampton. Jamar Chaney making the tackle as the Broncos and Niners will kill off this final 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
You know, we look at this group that's out here, and we know that this group is vying for a spot on the roster, but man, can you imagine being a kid and getting a chance to play in your home stadium wearing a 49er jersey or a Denver Bronco jersey?
There's nothing like it.
Nothing like it, dude. Nothing like it.
2 minutes to go. We'll be back. And here's tonight's Esurance play of the game. Alfred of Beauty from Brock Osweiler to Cody Latimer.
After a sudden change situation, Brock Osweiler holds the safety with the left look, and Cody Latimer is just fast. He has been making these plays the entire preseason in practice, and I'm glad that it showed up on game day for him.
He's going to be a factor in the regular season, isn't he?
He's going to play. He's going to play a lot.
Bethel Thompson throws to Devin Wiley. He's got a first down. Lewis Young, number 39, making the tackle as we are now inside 2 minutes.
Everything is a learning moment for all of these guys that are out there playing.
Swing pass to Jewel Hampton. He's knocked out of bounds by Jamar Chaney near midfield.
You know, in this part of the game, I know we're talking about some of the guys that are trying to make the team, but we talked yesterday with DeMarcus Ware about this situation where he said that he wanted to make sure that he had his conditioning up to par so he could be in the game for these type of situations specifically.
2nd down and 1 from midfield. Minute and a half to go in a game that has seen Denver completely dominate. It's a back shoulder throw to LaDamian Washington that's incomplete. Jordan Sullen was there on the coverage.
Great coverage right there.
And we've got another flag down.
Covered up the tight end. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
I've had that call a couple times here in the 4th quarter. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh can't be happy with back-to-back poor performances, even though it is the preseason.
Yeah, and they don't take as much pride as one would think in preseason games around here in San Francisco, just knowing how they operate, knowing people in the organization. What they are looking at is specifics like, did you throw the ball on time and on target? We don't care so much about whether or not it was for a first down. We drew the play up. We just want you to execute the play. And final score is no indication about what kind of team this is here.
Did you enjoy your time here?
I loved it, man. It was fantastic. I got a chance to play with Steve Young and the great Jerry Rice, and that was
Bethel Thompson throws, and it's deflected off the hands of John Boyette into the hands of a backup tight end, Kevin Green, who takes it all the way down inside the Denver 10. Hate to see the Broncos lose this shutout here in the final minute of the game.
And you'll take a look right here, and ball is thrown. Oh my goodness! It threw it right to Boyette. I mean, you can't ask for a better opportunity if you're playing safety in this league.
Kevin Green
he reads the route and runs the route for him, and did not get rewarded.
Rookie tight end out of USC, Charles Mitchell, made the saving tackle.
Kevin Green, 6'3", 220, out of USC, was a beneficiary of a play that Boyette should have made. He's going to kick himself for that.
Bethel Thompson, to show you how the 49ers have struggled, leads the 49ers passing today with 75 yards. Here's the handoff to Jewel Hampton. He's to the 5 and no more. And the 49ers take a timeout.
Yeah.
So Jim Harbaugh, coachable moments here, wants to get it in the end zone.
You know he wants to get it in. He's a competitive person, but does Jim have any other pieces of clothing that he wears? Because his wardrobe is the same.
That's it. It's the same thing every day in and day out. Hey, we got great news. 2 of the most trusted names in news. If you've watched us, you know it. We're moving back to the morning. Starting tomorrow morning, Cheryl Preheim and Marty Caniglio join Gary Shapiro, Corey Rose, and Greg Moss for Colorado's best morning news. 9 News beginning at 4:30 a.m. 41 seconds to go. 2nd and goal. Bethel Thompson on the turn into LaDamian Washington. He's short of the goal line. Charles Mitchell making the tackle along with Jerome Murphy. San Francisco takes another timeout.
That's good team defense right there from the Denver Broncos secondary. As you see guys rallying to the football, you know one thing. They want to preserve
this
shutout. Yeah, and Charles Mitchell just came out of nowhere, flying to jump in there to get some, I guess you could say, a resounding no to a chance to score, because it looked like it was a perfect play that was set up right there by Bethel Thompson.
It's 3rd and goal from the 2. Hampton, the running back. He's got it, and he's knocked down. He's short. Jerome Murphy, number 45, again making the tackle. It is 4th and goal from the 1. Clock is rolling. San Francisco will go for it on 4th down, obviously. The handoff to Hampton, and he's short. Again, it was Jerome Murphy. Jerome Murphy having a lot to do on this last series of keeping the Niners out of the end zone. And the Broncos will take over with 15 seconds to go, take a knee, and they will get out of here with a 34-0 victory.
That brings a smile to your face because you see the young guys out there, and Jerome Murphy's not a young guy, but 4th year out of South Florida. You see him get out there and you see him compete, and you know that they want to preserve the shutout. And Jack Del Rio is so happy about it. I mean, in the NFL, we have this rule about play callers. There's some guys that are called play repeaters. If a successful play happens, then they come back to that play. Now, that could also mean that if a successful play happened for the defense, we're going to come back and run that again because we know how to block it, and that's what happened.
Zach Dicer takes a knee just outside of the goal line, and that is your ball game. An impressive second preseason game of the year for the Broncos, 34-0 to christen this new stadium here in Santa Clara. As John Fox and Jim Harbaugh, a quick handshake and a hug. We'll wait just a second. Rod will grab John Fox, and got to think he'll be very, very happy with what he saw today.
The plane ride home is so much better when you win football games, even if it's preseason. You know, if you're going to play a game and they're going to keep score, you might as well go ahead and win the football game. And that's the way I've always felt. I don't think I'm going to ever change that opinion about competing when the clock is running.
All right, let's go down to Rod and Coach Fox.
Okay, guys, thanks a lot. 34-0, pretty impressive, and the defense makes sure that goose egg stays on the field at the end.
Yeah, it was good to see those young guys go ahead and play pretty good. There were some good efforts, and you'll get a chance to look at the tape and see who moved up the depth chart.
And a lot of forced turnovers on the defense as well, Coach.
Yeah, that helps. You know, it's always was an important stat, and we were on the plus side of it today.
Last thing for you, early on, Cody Latimer with that touchdown to start the 3rd quarter. Rookie, very impressive, fighting his way to the end zone there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we thought pretty well of him to take him in the 2nd round. He's done a tremendous job. He's learned the offense, becoming, a little more on top of what his assignments are, and that was a big play, and he's capable of those.
Very good. Coach, thanks. Congratulations.
Thank you, Rod.
Okay, guys, we got Julius Thomas coming up right now. Let's talk to Julius real fast. Julius, congrats. Hey, what's it like for you on the sidelines there when you watch your defense who's fought so hard and you see the clock ticking down, they're down there, they pitch this shutout at the end, and everyone on the sidelines, and the 34-0 game still explodes.
You know, it's a big time to come out and hold a team to no points, even in a preseason game. It's amazing. It speaks to the hard work our defense is putting in, and, I've been talking all year about how we got to support each other, and we got to be as close of a team as possible. And to have guys that, are down on the depth chart out there playing to make a big stop, you got to encourage them, you got to be there for them. And, that's what this team needs to be this year. We got to be there for each other in every play, in every situation, and it's going to go a long ways for us.
Julius, final thing, take you back to the first half when the starters were in there, and Peyton's going to Thomas, but it's the other Thomas. DT's getting all the attention. Finally starts throwing to you, and you get in the end zone.
Oh, yeah, we were messing with him. I said, man, you and Peyton got together and said you're going to get the ball every play on the first drive of preseason games, huh? But no, it's great to see everybody out there contributing. We got a ton of guys that can make plays, and, we're going to all do what we can when our number gets called. So, it happened to be mine a couple times down there on that 2nd drive, and, it's just fun to get in the end zone and make plays with the team.
Awesome. Julius, thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, back up to you.
All right, Rod, thanks very much. Kind of interesting, John Fox talking about the depth chart. We'll talk about that when we continue here from Levi's Stadium.